Thank you, thank you. He is at a lost city named after him, and in Canada and England, you would call him Zed. Please welcome Z Garcia! He's a snack muncher, big luncher, throat puncher. Don't you mess around with Sam Healy! I'm gonna buy a neck brace to wear. You would much rather be hearing his voice instead of mine. The best-selling author of Men Are From Mars, Merchants Are From Venus, Eric Summerer. And finally, wrong thing. And finally, coming in at 6'4", he puts the tower in Dice Tower. The designer of Vicious Fishes, Tom Vasel!
Take
That's
two.
the only hiccup we'll do good.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
All right.
The music comes on after we do this. Do you listen to the show?
The Dice Tower, episode 518.
Live from Gen Con 2017.
Welcome to the Dice Tower, a podcast about board games and card games, but especially all these people who play them. On today's show, we're live in Indianapolis for Gen Con 50. We've got Sam, Z, Jeff, and other special guests. We've got live music, a game with our friends from the Secret Cabal, and we have announcements from several major publishers, as well as a few of our own. I'm Eric Summerer, and here's your host, the Bob Ross of board gaming, Tom Vasel.
Well, we really do appreciate every one of you coming in here. This is our biggest show we've done yet, so that's a few more people than last year. That's really exciting. We're going to jump right into the show, but before we do, a couple things. First of all, when we're done today, if you want to say hi to us, we really appreciate that. We'll do it at the booth, okay? So we need to get answers for the next people coming in. Secondly, you had a raffle ticket. A couple of those may happen during the show. But for most of them, you're going to want to swing by our booth and Stronghold's booth tomorrow, Saturday, and you can check and see if your ticket has won there. Stronghold has provided 25 prizes, and he promises me they're good, which means they're from other publishers.
So mean.
Man.
You're so mean.
Brutal.
And at our booth, you get a free viral card if you win. No, but we'll have something for you. And yes, there's some really good stuff he has promised. And we want to thank Mr. Bonnegar for sponsoring this show. Go buy lots of his games like you already have been doing. So I think that is all the things I needed to say. So, Gen Con, is it crowded?
Yes, it is crowded.
A little bit.
Well, okay, so we're going to jump into it. What have you been most
horrible
excited about
lead-in.
at the show, Sam Healy?
I am doing fine.
Now, what are you excited about at the show?
I can't hear you. Can you hear him? I can't hear him hardly at all.
I can hear him.
Yeah, well, you're sitting right next to me.
Oh,
no. All right, no, Gen Con's been great. I've been spending most of my time at the booth. I don't like huge crowds normally.
So don't talk to him.
They make me nervous, but I do enjoy being at the booth, and that's my safe spot, I guess you could say. But I have been able to look at a few new games as well. This morning I was able to take a look at one that is actually not produced yet. It's going to be hitting Kickstarter in October, and it's called Battle Scars. It has a really cool look, but looks interesting, and was able to walk through a couple of rounds, and It looks really cool. Enjoyed the ideas in the gameplay, so that's fun. It's over at Ninja Division.
All right, what about you?
Oh, I'm up. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes. Stop shouting at me.
It's like we're back at home.
So, can you repeat the question? So you want me to talk about a game or you want me to talk about
A game.
Gen Con?
I don't know. We didn't talk about.
Talk about a game
Gen
at
Con is
Gen
awesome.
Con.
It's crowded. I love it. I get to see people I haven't seen in a while and hang out with them. Yes. Games. I'm going to talk about Ex Libris that I've played now 3 times. I was excited about it. If you saw our top 10 exciting, looking forward to games, that was high on there. And so I've been able to play it. I love the game. I think it's a fantastic design. It's got worker placement meets tableau building, spatial relationship sort of thing going on. And it looks gorgeous. The production is very, very nice. It's a game that really evolves as you are playing. You have just a couple of choices the first round, and every round after that, a couple of new choices. And so it eases you into figuring it all out, and I've really enjoyed it. I've played it with multiple player counts, scales well. It's really a fantastic game. I would recommend you give it a go.
Before we go any farther, I did forget an announcement. We have different people who are here and on the show, but we actually have a booth, and the show is during booth hours, so some people are stuck at the booth. But I want to give a hand, before they leave and go back and cover the booth, the people who took your tickets and gave you raffle, Mark Street and Roy Canada, are they in this room? Or did they already leave? Well,
You scared them off.
wait, where are they? Well, let's give them a round of applause anyway, and they can watch this video later and know I remembered them.
So one of the great things you can do at a big convention like Gen Con is play older games too. Stuff, sort of grail games you've always wanted to try. And I got to try out Hero Quest, the classic 1989. This is on a lot of gamers, grail lists to track down an old copy. They played it as kids, that sort of thing. I'd never played it, and a father-son team played a game with me yesterday, and it's a good bit of fun. Although now that I think about it, I don't think I played real Hero Quest. They sort of fudged the rules a little bit. We were kicking over tables, and the DM was letting us do things we didn't necessarily get to do.
But I hope that you defeated the evil bad guy.
Well, yeah, now that you bring that up. So there was this, we got to the final room, there's a guy in a cloak that's sort of bringing up monsters and orcs, and there's a magical unicorn, but there's a guy in the corner that's making things happen, and he's revealed onto the board, and it's Eric Summoner.
That devil!
The new mini from CMON. And so I had to defeat myself, and I was successful in doing so, and now I have an existential crisis. But the game...
But who won?
I guess me? Yeah. And I lost.
I like this.
So the game is adorable, though. It's got these nice cardboard pieces of furniture, plastic stuff, and tons of little figurines. I can see why people want to track this thing down. And it's very modular, very versatile. It was fun. I had a blast. Great game.
I love how I'm the one that gets blamed about talking about games out of print, and then he busts out
No, he is allowed to talk about Hero Quest.
Come on.
No.
I get an exception? Thank you.
Everybody gets one, I guess. I'm over like 25.
All right. Well, I have only played one game here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the game, I try not to get too much caught up in what's coming out and talk about what's here. But I'm going to break my own rule. The Plaid Hat booth, I'm so excited about all 3 of their upcoming games. They just look amazing. There's the Crystal Golem. Crystal what? Crystal Clans, which when I first saw it, when they first announced it, I was like, oh yeah, Summoner Wars Part 2. But it actually looks really tactical and really fun. I'm really excited about that. A lot of stuff in the box. And then they got a samurai game coming out. That's next year, which looks like it's just bonsai craziness anime. But the one I'm the most excited about easily is the Stuffed Fables.
Yes.
This is a sequel to Mice and Mystics, although it's a lot different. It comes with this huge 100-page book, and each page of the book is the map you fight on, and there's like a choose-your-own-adventure style going through the stories, going to other pages. There's even like lessons for the kids, now that we've done this, what did you learn type thing.
What? Really? There's like morals at the end?
There is.
Oh.
That needed to be a G.I. Joe themed game then.
And now we all know.
I know. And knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Joe. Okay, but how did that get? Okay, so anyhow, the miniatures are amazing. I really like the little toys. It seems in our industry that any game that involves toys, they're like evil and all possessed by demons. These are just like cute little toys going out to fight. Maybe evil and possessed demon toys, but the ones you're controlling are cool, like there's a piggy with a battle rattle. I just like that sort of thing. There's a stuffed rabbit who looks like he's been under the bed for a few years.
It's like a baby rattle, but it's called a battle rattle.
That makes it
That
dangerous.
sounds cool, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I already claimed it when we play the game with my kids, and you won't be there anyway. Hey, Roy and Mark are back in the door. I see them now. If your raffle ticket does not win, it's their fault, okay? Or Mr. Bonagor, you are always allowed to blame him. That's 2. I'm keeping track. All right.
It doesn't even make sense.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so before we go to the next part, there's one more game we should probably talk about, and that would be Twilight Imperium 4th Edition.
What?
Is that here?
So they apparently at Fantasy Flight, they know Sam likes the game. I don't know why. He's never mentioned it.
Never once.
So they made sure that we were able to play it. We did not play through a whole game of it,
4
but we
rounds.
played at least,
It's 4 rounds.
I feel like it was almost half a game because I was about to die and lose.
That
They
was
wanted
very
to
fun.
end the game before I got a point, which was kind of rude.
Which we did, actually.
No, I scored a
technically.
point.
No, we did. No.
How many points did you play to?
10.
How long did you play?
2 hours.
Yeah, but Brian had like, Brian, the guy who taught us the game, didn't he have like 4 or 5 points?
He had 4, yeah.
Yeah. So I got 1. That's what matters.
It
Yeah,
took you 2
4
hours to score 1 point.
No, he didn't score a point.
I scored
Oh,
a
it took
point.
you-
We definitely ended before he scored the point.
So it took you 2 hours to score 0 points.
Yes. That's how awesome he was doing.
Next year at Gen Con, we're going to have a solo show. Okay, but I really enjoyed the game. It is much less of a jump from the 3rd edition to the 4th than it was from 2nd to 3rd.
Yeah,
You could
definitely.
almost call it 3.5, but then there'd be comparisons to D&D. But the miniatures are better. There's a lot of streamlined changes, which we will talk about much further in videos and things that may show up eventually.
Very soon.
We do a couple reviews, but you're the guy, good or not?
Very good. If you like TI3, and it doesn't have as much as it has in all of the expansions and all that kind of stuff, but this is definitely a very good, better version, better way to play TI3. So if you already like TI3, this is TI3. This is what I've been saying. TI3 with a bunch of WD-40 sprayed into it, so
That's
that everything
disgusting.
moves. Follow the analogy. What do you usually use WD-40 for?
To slip and slide on the
Bicycle
floor,
chains?
probably.
What?
Okay,
What?
apparently,
Now, you said he was
How are you
gross.
gonna like?
apparently
Forget it.
Zunior does weird things at home. So anyway, I said he. I was. Anyway, TI3 is good. It was great. A super game. TI4 is a better version of that game.
Watch our top 100 this year. Will it come
it's-
back to first?
So TI3, Blood Rage, TI4.
It's going to be the best
Pandemic.
top 100 ever.
Only time will tell.
All right. So anyway, it's been a great time to be here. Now, we do different shows on, if maybe you're listening to this, there's also a video channel. And I've always been curious, like how many people here only listen to the audio show? Okay, how about you only watch videos? And who does both? Okay.
Wow.
Who likes Board Game Blender? Okay, that's fair, more than I expected.
I love you guys.
Notice how he didn't even mention throw punch lunch.
Well, this is my segue here. Let me run with this. Okay, so on Board Game Blender, there's a lot of different segments, and we really do appreciate our contributors. Many of them are here on all the different shows: Throw Punch Lunch, Board Game Blender, Board Game Breakfast. Our former contributors on the podcast. Oh, that's right. I'm skipping ahead. I'm going to come back to that in
This is
1
why
minute.
I don't like scripts.
Yes.
Because he skips
Are
around
you
all
going to
over
ask
them.
Yes.
who likes Board Game Blender again? Because there'll be
Okay.
fewer hands this time.
Then you get a sympathy vote.
So we've been talking about making an announcement here at the show about the Dice Tower itself. Actually, we have 2 announcements, and they're going to come up later, but I want to clarify there's rumors swirling and stuff. So one of the rumors might be that we are being bought by Asmodee, and I'd like to put that to rest. We are
Not yet,
not.
anyway.
I mean, Sam could be tempted by Twilight Imperium before, I guess. But yeah, they buy up a lot of stuff, right, Eric?
Yeah, well, Tom, I'm glad you mentioned that because Asmodee actually hired me to write a song for them. You know, they haven't made a major acquisition in several months, but, you know, they wanted to remind everyone of their presence in the industry. You know, and so, whoa, this is weird. Having this involuntary hand, you guys too. Wow, maybe you guys should like clap in between. Yeah, oh, that makes it work better, yeah. Buddy, you're a board game company doing pretty well, but before long you will be ours. There's nothing you can do, the deal's gone through. We're Asmodee and we will assimilate you. We will own you. We will own you. Buddy, you're a first-time publisher, made $1 million with a board game on Kickstarter. Took a lot of guts, and now you know what? We're Asmodee, and we're gonna own your butt. We will own you. We will own you. Whether you are big time, small time, middle time, doesn't really matter. You will be ours. You all will be the same with the Asmodee name. Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on. Hello? No, I told you, Steven. We don't want to buy Stronghold games. I gotta block that guy, you know. But otherwise, we will own you. Sing it. We will own you. We will own you. One more time. We will own you.
This is great. This is great because tell me not to bang on the table now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we're using those mics anymore.
By the way, who likes Board Game Blender?
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, there was definitely some more sympathizers in there.
Okay, so if you watch Board Game Blender, again, I mentioned we have a lot of great contributors. One of those contributors sings the most interesting original songs, and that is Mr. Dave Luza, who we brought in today.
Dave!
Hi.
I think you need a mic there.
I know, I've got a couple of them.
A couple mics.
Wait. Why does he get 2 mics?
I get two. Hi. Wow, this is great.
Well, I think that we could do something fun here. I think we could talk about games, maybe.
Yeah,
or, actually, if you could remind me what we were talking about, because I forgot. I didn't write it down.
Well, yeah, he's from Germany.
I'm
Oh,
from
that's right.
Yeah.
I got it. So you're from Germany.
Well, I want to make one thing clear. I am Dutch, but I live in Germany. And that just for me, it's important.
So we met him
Just a
at
little bit of a
Essen,
difference.
and we had a good time there. He helped us out a lot by translating in multiple languages for us and singing occasionally and doing things like that. And now he's here at Gen Con, and we can compare the two. So we're going to use a good comparer, an American who speaks many languages, although they're usually Klingon and things like that, Eric Summer. Oh, wait, so this is what we can do. I want you to go up there and with David, you can compare back and forth on these. And because I own the show, me and Eric Herman talked about this. We thought instead of talking, you could sing. But since we put no effort into our productions whatsoever, you guys would sing whatever random song Eric Herman is playing at the moment.
Huh.
This seems reasonable, right?
Sure.
I'm so glad this is you and not me.
So, Dave,
Yeah.
this is your first time at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm impressed. Really. Every corner where I look, stuff is going on. I don't know what to say other than I will never be gone. I like it here at Gen Con because it's just the best place to be.
Oh. So, what would you say
He stopped. I stopped.
is one of the... So you've been to Essen many times.
I live really 15 minutes away from Essen.
And when I think of Essen, I think of the spiral potatoes. I think of the currywurst. I think of the many foods, not games. I love the currywurst. Oh, the currywurst. I love the currywurst. I mean, there's bouncy castles and stuff too, but I think primarily it's, the food that really, you don't see that sort of thing here at Gen Con.
No, it's true. Oh man, but the food trucks here. There are so many food trucks out there. I don't know what to choose. I'm afraid that if I choose one, I probably lose the other ones. They'll drive away. Oh, please don't go away. I want every food truck, but just a little, because it's just too much if I would.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want to fill up on one food truck. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
You don't want to just pick one.
Let me make really one thing clear. Essen or Gen Con, which one is bigger? Essen's got the better numbers, but I've been many times to Essen and I've been one day here. Gen Con wins. Really?
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's...
What is it, Eric?
It's the events. All those crazy events.
True.
You got painting classes.
Medieval knitting.
You've got taekwondo.
Yeah.
Taekwondo. You've got how to dress your pet like Yoda. And something that rhymes with taekwondo. Taekwondo.
Yeah.
We need to let Eric out of this here.
Thank you.
You sit down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, people might not believe it, but this was really all improvised. We have never thought of what we're going to say or what the music's going to be. This
I believe
is really,
it.
Yeah, you believe it. Okay. But one thing that Essen doesn't have, but Gen Con has, it's you. I get to meet so many, but yesterday a woman almost fainted. She was really wobbling and saying hi to me. That's cool. So hi everyone. I'm going to go a little bit closer. Hope the music works. Hi, what's your name?
Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. Lindsay, do you ever watch me sing on Blender?
Once or twice.
She's lying. I can tell, man. I can tell.
I've made quite a few songs now on Blender, and you please watch them back. And if you don't want to watch the whole episode, then watch them on my channel.
Wow.
But Lindsay, what you probably no one has ever. I've never sung a song for you, Lindsay. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna sing a song for you, but because I don't know you, I'm gonna sing things wrong. And every time when I'm wrong, I want you to honk the horn. So I'm gonna give the horn to you. Please stand up so everyone can see you. So imagine I would sing that you would wear something yellow today. What would you do? Thank you. It works in Holland. I was afraid you wouldn't get it. And if I would sing about you, that you're wearing something red, you would do nothing. Thank you, Lindsay, for understanding that. The song is all about you. Please honk the horn if you really have the feeling that this is not you. And I'm going to give the mic to you. Please hold it with the horn so everyone can hear it. Yeah?
Lindsay, this one's for you.
Oh, Lindsay, you are finally here. It's your first time. It's your second time. You've been to Gen Con quite a lot. Oh, you remember when it wasn't Indianapolis? Okay, it was still already in Indianapolis. But you met your man, your husband here. You haven't met your husband yet. You're hoping it's gonna be today. He's gotta love card games. Because you will not play anything else. You will play as much as you can. You are unemployed, you've got time. Oh. You've got a job and little time. So you only play the hottest new games. You're looking forward to TI4.
Hey, yeah. Come on.
Throw pandemic
Give it
at
a
her.
try.
Pandemic at her.
You're looking forward to Clank in Space. You already know with whom you're gonna play. It's gonna probably be your best friend who is not here, who is here today. I hope that someday you will find true love. And is it me? Maybe. I thought you were looking at me, but somewhere there's someone for Lindsay.
All right.
Lindsay.
Well, thank you, Dave Lizza.
Woo, Dave.
Nice. And if you ever want to show more people watch, there's other things. All right.
Yeah, go check out Board Game Blender if you haven't seen it. He's on it. Yeah. And watch everything. See all of the parts.
Thank you, Z, for being on the show.
Well, you kicking me out because I mentioned Blender? All right.
And Sam, thank you guys. Eric, I think at this point we need to up with those smart guys leaving, the intellect has dropped a lot here on stage.
I don't know what I can contribute there. I'm not, but you know what? I just wanted to mention that one of the reasons I'm here, first of all, that was awesome, Dave. Great job. But yeah. And I'm here to do some custom introductions for some of the guests. But I've also been working on a new version of Tom's Top 100 song. You want to hear a little bit of that? Yeah. I just think, it's been a few years. You should really update things a little bit. So here, what do you think of this? Tom Vassel's top 5,000 games of all time.
Captain.
It's like a 5-year series. By the time
He
you finish
plays
this
that much every week, right? Come on.
Okay.
Anyway,
This is about somebody else. He is the one who will outsmart you. More brains than any mere Sherlocks. His name is Jeffrey Engelstein, and he will make you feel dumber than a box of rocks. Jeffrey Engelstein!
Thank you, Eric, I think. Okay, if I'm making everybody feel dumb, I'm not doing my job, so I'm sorry about that. So,
Well, then you've never done your job when we listen.
well, can we get the slides up going here? Okay. So since, I usually just sit behind the mic in the quiet of my room, I figured I'd take the opportunity to be in an audience here to kind of play a game with everybody. So we're going to play the world's fastest game of Pandemic. So why don't we go to the next slide? So you have two choices, and I'd like you to just go with your gut here. But the setup is that a deadly disease is spreading throughout the world, and if nothing is done, 600 people will die. But you have two possible treatments available to you. So let's go to the next one. Choice A, 200 people will be saved. Or choice B, there's a 1/3 chance that all 600 are saved and a 2/3 chance that no one is saved. So how many of you would pick choice A? Okay. And how many would pick B? Okay.
I hope we chose
I
right.
hope so.
So it's about 50-50. Well, when this is given to normal people, let's go to the next one. Please, slide. 72% of people surveyed pick choice A here.
Oh.
Okay. So let's go to the next one. So let's do it again. A deadly disease is rapidly spreading. If nothing is done, 600 people will die, but there are two treatments that are available. First one, 400 people will die. Second one, 1/3 chance that nobody dies and 2/3 chance that 600 die. How many people are going to pick choice C here? And how many people are going to pick D? Okay.
That wasn't 50-50, I saw it.
That was not. Okay. In this case, most people surveyed say 78% pick choice A. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So these are your four choices of the 600 people. 200 saved, 1/3 chance all 600 saved, 400 people die, 1/3 chance that nobody dies. Now actually, if you go to the next slide, A and C are exactly the same.
I figured that out.
You are not dumber than a box of rocks.
No, don't.
So, actually, and the same thing that B and D are exactly the same. So those of you that picked A in the first one and D in the second one, which is what most people do, have fallen prey to a concept that's called framing. What is a gain and what is a loss? Okay? And in this case, if you go to the next one, there's really what we call loaded words in those. Okay? 200 people will be saved or 400 people will die. It is really, really hard to wrap your head around picking the choice that says 400 people will die. That's you'd rather have a choice, in this case, the 1/3 choice or the 2/3 choice that 600 people die, whereas saved is a much more positive word. So your brain interprets these things very differently, depending on the exact way that it's phrased. And a lot of people know about this idea and this concept that the way that you phrase something, that you can put people in different mindsets, including game designers. So let's take a look. Let's go to the next one. So let's talk about framing in board games. So first, just a randomly chosen board game. In Pit Crew, my newest game from Stronghold Games, please go buy it. There are still copies available. In that case, players can earn penalty points. And one of the things that we had to decide in one of the original versions of the game, if your team earns penalty points, you have a little car that runs around the track. We had it so that your car had to move backwards if you lost points. If you made a mistake, you move backwards around the track. And we found that this was really aimed at families, and it's more of a casual game. And people didn't like moving backwards. You know, if you had a younger kid that was on a team and all of a sudden your team had to move backwards, they didn't want to do it. And even adults, you know, we wanted people to make the trade-off between having to, you know, take some penalties to go forward faster later. And we found that just the act of moving backwards kind of skewed people to not want to do that, which was part of the fun of the game. So what we did is we flipped it around so that if you get a penalty point, the other cars move forward. Your cars does not move backwards. So if you're playing with 3 players, the other 2 cars go forward on the track. So you always go forward. And that lessened the feeling of getting the penalty. It's not as big a deal for everybody else to move up. It was much bigger psychologically for you to move backwards. We wanted to kind of lighten the load on people. And that worked really effectively once we did that. It's not that big a deal to move the other cars, but it really helped with people. So that was in Pit Crew, where we wanted it to be sort of a lighter experience. So let's go to the next one. So our second randomly chosen board game is the Expanse game by me from WizKids. Completely sold out, so sorry if you missed out on that one. There was only like 60 copies available. But in this game, it's got a traditional scoring track with victory points that go around the outside. And in this game, there are certain actions that you can take that force you to, that you have to lose victory points to do them. Actually move you backwards on the scoring track. And in this game, I considered having everybody else move forward, doing the same trick, because it was right on the same time as Pit Crew. But I wanted an emotional investment in this case. I wanted the players to feel the pain of having to go backwards and having to give up points. So I thought it was very important for people to actually move backwards and up the emotional stakes of making those decisions. So that was I was very pleased with the way that came out emotionally for the players and the way I was able to sort of manipulate the players into feeling certain ways. So just one last quick example here. If we go to the next one. I don't know if we have any Hearthstone players here. Do we have any Hearthstone players here? Okay, this is essentially a card game. I know Tom plays Hearthstone, used to at least. So this is a card called Tracking. And I don't know if you can read the ability there, and certainly for people listening at home. The ability of this card, when you play it, is you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You keep one, and you discard the other 2 of them. And then they're just gone from the game forever. You never get your discards back. And this card, especially for newer players of Hearthstone, people hate this card. They don't like to play it. They don't see the utility of it. It's just tough drawing those cards and throwing away. In fact, if you go to the next slide, these are some quotes that I pulled out. I'll just read these. So the first one is, I see the use of tracking, but psychologically I've always disliked the idea of burning 2 cards to get a third. If I put a card in my deck, it means I wanted to use it, not to discard it in favor of something else. If I want to draw a card, I can flare instead. And then another one, tracking, burn 2 cards to draw one and possibly lose key parts of your deck. Again, psychologically, people don't want to discard the cards. Now, the reality is that discarding 2 cards only matters if you get all the way to the end of your deck, because you can treat them as just like they were the last 2 cards of your deck. So it's very unusual in Hearthstone, especially if you're a hunter, to get to the end of your deck. So most of the time, it really doesn't make a difference. But if you go to the next slide, here's an alternate effect that I've proposed to a lot of people and did a survey. And this effect says, it's a little more convoluted, but look at the top 3 cards of your deck, keep 1, and shuffle the other 2 back into your deck, then discard the bottom 2 cards in your deck without looking at them. Just about everybody that I've shown this to is much, much happier with this card than with the other card. Look 3 and discard 2. The reality is that this is actually a worse effect for you as a player, because at least with the first one, you know the cards that you're discarding, you know what you don't have to play with, and the card you may be hoping for is not coming up and is gone. But just psychologically, this way of framing it is much, much more emotionally palatable to people. So, you know, as a designer and in real life, just be aware of this kind of stuff is used in advertising things all the time. Just be aware that using certain language and structuring things in a certain way, the designers can actually play with the emotional state of the players and make them more invested or less invested in the decisions that they're happening. So, if we can go just to the last slide. So, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So, thank you.
So what he's saying is that designers are puppet masters messing with all of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I got from that.
I didn't expect to learn something today at one of our shows. All right. right, well, we're going to keep going here. So we're going to jump right into news. We have several publishers who are here who are going to talk about upcoming things from them. They have a few minutes each to talk about this. So we're going to bring on the first one. We got...
He makes you want to throw him out the nearest door. Of course, I'm talking about Stephen Buonocore. Stephen Buonocore!
That didn't look bad there. I wore red for you. I wore the red for Stronghold.
You wore the red for me.
Stronghold Games is the greatest publisher in existence.
As long as I'm paying his bills, I am the greatest publisher in existence. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Oh, I need to send him my bills. This is exciting. All right.
Hello, Tom.
So, what's up? Give us some news.
Oh, go right into the news?
Let's give him a hand for sponsoring the show. Because...
All right, so we'll go right into the news, and Derek, you can flip the slide.
Jeff took up all your time.
You took up my time. So we're proud to announce that one of the biggest digital games that have been requested, if you look at a lot of polls, is Terraforming Mars. Is Terraforming Mars. So we're proud to announce that Terraforming Mars Digital will be coming out I'm not supposed to say the dates or anything like that, but it's going to come out
tomorrow.
by Asmodee Digital is going to be the company is going to be doing it with us. We've signed the contract with them. There we go. This is. They're going to be using Lucky Hammer, if that's their development team that's going to be on that. They've already done a number of games for Asmodee Digital, some very successful ones. Be very respectful of the IP, but do some twists in the games as well. Everyone's going to want to like have this feature or that feature. The answer is yes to everything, but over time, of course, so things will happen. But we do expect this to be in the first half, let's say, of 2018. I was not supposed to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. First half, and early as possible, of course.
You're going to have to play that Asmodee song again.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's just a partnership with them to do this game, so it'd be silly.
Cool. Well, thank you for that only piece of news.
The other thing that I was going to mention as well. Now, this isn't new. We actually announced, this has come out a couple of times already, but I put a press release out regarding the Fast Forward series with 2F Spiele. And we're co-publishing this. This is the Freedom and Freeze games. It's a new series of games where you don't have to learn rules to play the game. So it's using that Fable system where the game system is going to evolve over time, but you literally get your people together to sit down, to play the game. You open the box, the bottom of the deck says, it's the bottom of the deck, turn it over. You turn it over. And then the first card says,
bang the table.
The first card says, get X number of people together, turn it over, and the game will teach you how to play it by itself. We have prototype copies here at the booth, and you can get the experience by coming, checking the game out, go take it away for an hour, and bring it back. So you'll get the experience of the game. You'll play it like Fabled Fruit. You'll play it 10, 15, 20 times before you actually run through the whole system. But in this case, it's a very different experience, and each one of these games is going to be completely different in mechanics and everything. Flee is cooperative. Fear is sort of like a ladder climbing. I don't want to tell too much. And Fortress, Tom played a lot, and he really
Actually, I played Fortress to completion, and I wondered, so Eric
I get to play that as well.
And I want to see, would it be interesting the second time through? And it was. I'm really pumped about this series of the one I played.
And Eric was beating Tom, so that's why he particularly likes it.
I wasn't playing.
You
Eric
played with him, didn't you?
But I was beating Z, and
he was beating Z. That matters more. I was teaching the game.
Oh, okay. But come to the booth if you'd like to check these out in the prototype form, and they'll be released at Essen, and we'll have them here in the October-November timeframe.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Buonocore.
Thanks, Stephen.
I'll be back.
It's not in the script anywhere. Well, who's next, Mr. Herman? Oh, I just go. Renegade Games! Hello, sir.
I have you know, I wanted to do a musical introduction that involved an anvil and a hammer, so I could go clank, clank. But there wasn't an anvil in the budget, so.
Why not?
And next year's Indiegogo, you know, anvil stretch goal. Let's go for it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Why don't you introduce yourself in case someone here doesn't know?
Oh, sure. So I'm Scott Gate. I'm the president and founder and some sort of stuff of Renegade Game Studios. So, what I want to tell you guys about today is something new. So we had a lot of surprises coming into Gen Con, and we have one more that we saved for Dice Tower. So some of you may know that I've been around in the game industry a long, long time. And most of my career I spent working on licensed games. So I've worked on things like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and Walking Dead and Adventure Time and all that cool stuff. And then a few years back I decided to start Renegade. And because I wanted to do something new, I wanted to make original games that weren't playing in other people's sandboxes. I wanted to do stuff and start creating our own sandboxes. And so what we're going to tell you about today, I'm going to bring up two of the creative team just to give you a brief little sneak peek, is something that we're doing moving forward that's not just a single one-off game. And the thing that made this the sweetest of all was a year and a half ago I hired someone named Sarah Erickson. So a lot of you people have probably seen Sarah in lots of videos, right? Hashtag Team Sarah. Boo.
She was also on the show.
She was a guest on our show.
She was a guest on the show. I know. Yeah.
We picked her over you.
I know. So thanks. And so about a year and a half ago, I told Sarah that I grew up like most of us playing games, and I grew up playing role-playing games like D&D and everything else. And I told her that part of her job was, as passionate as I am about those types of games, that she was to keep me from ever making a game like that. Never let me make a role-playing game. So about 8 months ago, I was talking to these guys, Paul and George, and they were telling me about a world that they had created. And I said that would make the most bizarre, fantastic role-playing game ever, and so much more. So I turned to Sarah and I said, "You're fired."
Okay.
This is not a pleasant story.
Oh, no, I liked it. It was fun.
Okay.
So I immediately rehired her so she couldn't fail at her job. And then we decided that we were going to go ahead and we were going to launch something, and it's called Overlight. And Overlight, we're not just going to stop there. Overlight is going to be a gaming world. And we're going to start it with a role-playing game, because role-playing games are fantastic for world building and defining every little nugget about that world. But then after that, we're going to be introducing more and more games within this gaming world. But the first thing will be a role-playing game complete with miniatures, and that will be coming out next year. So I want to bring up, so we have 3 guys on the creative team. 2 of these guys are here today. Paul Alexander Butler is one of the creators of the world. And then the other gentleman that is, George Holland is not here. He's back home right now, working frantically, writing and finishing up the first book. But we also have Kwanchai Moria is creating the look and feel and the art for this world. So we want to bring him out as well.
So hi. So a little bit about Overlight. The thing about fantasy role-playing games is that as much as we all enjoy immersing ourselves in the classic tropes of fantasy role-playing games, George and I in particular have felt that we've sort of lost a sense of wonder about fantasy. We've seen the same tropes over and over again, and they're tried and they're true and they work. But early fantasy, particularly, and I'm thinking of the fantasy of like the 60s and 70s and early 80s, there was this sense of awe and beauty to a lot of it. So that has very much been a driving force behind the world that we're creating. The other thing is aesthetically, as much as I like getting grim and dark as the next guy, everything is grim and dark these days. So while our world will in fact have some very dark tones, it's also very brightly colored and driven by a sense of hope and trying to find your way in the larger world. Now, I don't want to get too deeply into the setting, but just to tease you a bit, the core setting of the thing is that we basically got 7 floating continents that are all sort of stacked on top of one another. And each one of those continents has its own unique culture and is deeply tied to a spiritual virtue. The light from above can actually be consciously manipulated by our player characters and shattered into different colors, which are tied to those virtues to create wondrous effects. Some characters more than others, of course, but every part of the populace can do that to some degree. Again, I don't want to take too much time, but to give you a sense of some of the crazy stuff we've got going on, there's a race called the Binyari, which are symbiotic beings that are mammalian, but they might be mammalian plant or moss-based, or they might have colonies of strange shrews living inside of their flesh, and they sort of psychically communicate with them. They're at war with a bird race because their continents collided at one point. So there's a lot of tension there. That's another good one. Oh, and then we've got so there's a race called the Aramel, who are they are the crafters. They do a lot of bronze and gold and metalwork, and they are obsessed with immortality, but not in a classic necromantic sense, but instead the great work is what allows them to live forever. So while their culture is one in which they cover their faces with masks, a father, for instance, might not finish this great statue. So as he's on his deathbed, he passes the job of completing the work onto his daughter. And his daughter might assume the face, the mask, and the almost identity of her father as she goes on to complete this great work. And some of those take many generations. That's just a taste. There's a lot of really crazy stuff going on. One of my greatest greatest joys at sharing this world with folks is almost to a single one. The people that once they're exposed to it go, "That's crazy," but it makes sense for I can tell stories in that world, and I can't wait to see it. Now, luckily, the very first person that we talked to completely understood what it was we were trying to do, and agreed like a crazy person to dive in to do all of this for us.
Hello, my name is Quan Chai. I'm gonna draw those things that he's talking about. I know it's a great project. I'm real excited. Clearing out my schedule to do some big work for them, and they're a great team at Renegade. So,
how soon do we see it?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
I'm You're working overnight, right?
No, so this will be out second quarter of next year. Will be the RPG, and the next game in the series will probably be out fourth quarter of next year. So we're just giving you a little taste. Like I said, it's going to start with a role-playing game that might not be everybody's thing in this room, but we're really going to build this world, and then we're going to let you guys dive in through many different types of gaming, maybe even some stuff you haven't seen from Renegade before. So,
gentlemen, thank you very much.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right. Okay. All right, our next person is a person, not a company. And that is Mr. Alan Moon, designer of Ticket to Ride. How you doing, sir? Oh, then you can just grab one of those mics over there.
Tom wants to ask me some questions, but I'm not really interested in that. So I've never spoken.
I'm so glad I have control of my own shows, but go ahead.
I've never spoken in front of 10,000 people before. This is really awesome.
It's
1,200?
A 0 or so, yes.
Oh, well, it looks good. It looks good. This is great. So I'm supposed to, I think there's supposed to be a picture of the new Ticket to Ride expansion up. You know, and I could talk about that, but there's so many expansions and maps. Who can keep them all straight? It's just, it's impossible, really. It's impossible. So
yeah, but that's what I'd rather talk about is... Show the maps while he's talking, at least.
Don't worry about it. So what I'd rather talk about is how little respect I get as a game designer. I am kind of like... I am the Rodney Dangerfield of game designers. I get no respect at all. No respect, really. Let me give you an example. I'm driving out here on Monday with my wife, and we get stuck in the right lane on the highway behind this truck. And it's got this big piece of machinery or something on it. And I said, what the heck is that? And my wife says, that's an oversized load just like you, honey. I love her anyway. So a couple months ago, she says to me, "You need a new suit." And I was like, "Why? I don't wear a suit." And she says, "Well, Uncle Charlie died. We have to go to his funeral." I was like, "Oh, geez, thanks, Uncle Charlie." So she says, you should put your old Brooks Brothers suit on, and we'll go down the store and we'll show them what you want. So I look at this suit. It's like 4 sizes too small. So I'm trying to get the jacket on. I can't even get close to it. My arms are sticking out like this. The pants don't even close. You know, it's only held together by the belt. And I said, "We can't go down the mall like this." And she says, "Well, just bring it. We'll try it on at the store." So we get down the store, and I try the suit on. The salesman comes over and looks at me, and he says, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes." And everybody thinks they're a comedian, right? And I said, "Listen, just let me see the cheapest thing here in a suit." And my wife says, "Why don't you go look in the mirror?" You know, but I blame it all on my parents, really. I think it's their fault. My father was a really strict man. He was really strict. No, he was. One day he says to me, he says, "Alan, you got no college education. You got no job. You're a bum. Get out of the house." I said, "Dad, I'm only 6 years old."
This is in our news section.
I can't wait for the Netflix stand-up special, Alan Moon.
I'm just practicing for my real act, really. I really loved my father. He died last year. And the reason I loved him was one night when I was a teenager, he invited 2 priests over to the house. Now, we're not Catholic or anything. He just decided this was a good idea. And he decided he was going to tell them this joke. Now, if there's any children in here, I want you to cover your ears for a couple of minutes, okay? So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just about a nun, so don't worry about it, okay? Real.
Is this where we tackle him and take the mic?
So one day a nun goes fishing, and she catches this really big fish. And she's walking back to the nunnery, and she bumps into another nun. The second nun says, "Sister, you caught a damn fish." And the first nun says, "We're not supposed to talk like that." And the second nun says, "No, that's the name of a fish. It's a damn fish." First nun goes, "Oh, wow, that's great." So she goes up to the nunnery, and she runs into the Mother Superior. And the sister goes, "Mother, look at the damn fish I caught." And Mother goes, "Child, you know better than to talk like that." And the sister goes, "No, that's the name of a fish. It's a damn fish." The mother goes, "Well, here, let me clean it for you." So the mother's cleaning the fish, and the father comes in. And the mother says, "Father, look at the fish, the damn fish sister caught." And the father goes, "We're supposed to be setting a good example for these children."
I
and
know.
his mother goes, good audience. And the mother goes, "No, it's a damn fish. That's the name of the fish." And the father goes, "Great, well, let me cook it for you." So in a little while, the father, the mother, and the sister are all sitting down eating the fish. The new bishop shows up. The sister goes, "I caught the damn fish." The mother goes, "I cleaned the damn fish." The father goes, "I cooked the damn fish." The new bishop says, "I like this."
Okay.
So I knew Tom wanted to ask me questions. So I didn't want him to ask me questions, but I did write down the answers. Okay. So I'd like to read some of them to you now. So yes, if Reiner Knizia had designed Ticket to Ride, the math would be correct. Of course. You always wanted to know that, right? No, absolutely not. Tom Vasel did not leave 12 of his children in Korea when he came back to the United States. It was only 2.
Where? These are my notes.
Yes, Eric Martin does watch those unpacking videos. Have you seen these? These are incredible. He says every time he watches it, he wishes it was his hands doing the unpacking.
What are we talking about now?
You can read into that what you want.
Can we look at the maps for Ticket to Ride? Can we put them on? No, put a map on, Derek.
Really?
Yeah, look, there's a map. Yeah.
That looks pretty cool.
I'm trying to help Days of Wonder here.
Hey, I guarantee you people will remember this more than you'd remember it if I was talking about the game.
I know I will.
See?
That announcement's still coming up later on in the show. There's another map. That's one side of the board. Here's the other side, the Old West.
Wow, that looks pretty good. All right. Well, I don't know. Do you want me to be done, or I can keep
We
going?
are done. We are so far behind schedule, and also we're about to be canceled.
Everybody!
All right, well, we're going to just move on, and next we have Pandasaurus Games. I see Pieces here. All right, why don't you guys introduce yourself? Let's talk about this thing. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I'm Nathan McNair with Pandasaurus Games.
I'm Molly Wardlaw with Pandasaurus Games.
You can use that mic, Molly.
The designer of the game that we're announcing.
All right, talk right into the mic so people can hear. All right, so what is this game here?
Yeah, so this is Coaster Park. This is being announced right here. It will be available at Essen, and it will be in stores by late October, early November. I'm going to let Scott talk about the design. It's his.
Okay. So I love roller coasters. Always have been a fan. I'm an engineer by trade as well, and I wanted to make the quintessential roller coaster game. And thinking back at a bunch of games in my childhood and stuff like that, things like Mousetrap, super fun game, very physical, but not much of a game to it. However, I knew roller coasters would be a really good way, capture that feeling. So I wanted to get a good strategy game where you actually have to physically build a roller coaster. And for those of you who can see it, you actually build a nice physical roller coaster while you do it.
Please tell me you're rolling something on that.
Oh, you mean this marble?
Wow!
Are you sold, Eric?
I'm happy. I'm happy. So when can we get this game?
Essen, we're going to have some copies there, and it'll be retail a couple weeks later.
And it has a loop.
It does have a functioning loop.
Where is this loop?
The loop is buried.
Again. Thanks for joining us.
So will people be able to come by the booth and look at the box?
We're actually going to be demoing the game later today. What? If you want to come play it, this is a full production copy of it.
Well, then never mind.
You can no longer demo the game later today. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is exciting. So it takes how long?
Under an hour, 45 minutes is about right, 2 to 4 players. Super light bidding game. Every part of our track is worth points. At the end of the game, you only score points for the parts of the track the marble can clear.
Yeah, and you will completely customize your coasters. Some will be small, some will be big. There's special hills that you have, like double dips for any of you coaster fans and stuff out there. Build up to 3 coasters per person. Yeah, it's super fun, very physical, nice casual game. I think everyone's going to get a pretty big kick out of it.
Yeah, there's a fun dexterity element to it as well, so physics.
Yay, physics!
Games, yeah!
And we should have brought Quan Chai out here with us as well, because this amazing artwork is his.
Quan Chai Maria's, Quan Chai's so hot right now.
I know, his rates are going to go up.
This is also Peter
right
Walker.
back here peeking on the thing here.
Hey!
Firework, yeah! Make sure that you, when you talk about publishers and designers, talk about artists too, because they really do a great job, and there's so much good art out there.
Speaking of that, the other amazing artist is Peter Woken. This is the team behind Dinosaur Island as well. So when we thought whimsical, we thought bring back the team, and here they are.
All right. I'm really excited about this. Thank you, guys. This is really cool.
Some roller coasters.
All right, the last publisher we have coming on today tends to take old games and bring them back and make them new again. Restoration Games. All right, so here we have Justin Jacobson, the president of Restoration Games, also in my game group, and keeps me honest on lots of things. And Rob Daviau, who's designed a couple.
He's done a
games.
few
I've done a few things.
A few things.
So you have a couple games. You have 3 games releasing here that have been done.
Yes, we do. We have 3 games that we just released at Gen Con. They'll be in retail shortly thereafter. We have Stop Thief, which we ran a Kickstarter for in March, which was amazingly beyond our expectations. And then we have Indulgence, which is based off the old Dragon Master game from 1981. And then finally Downforce, which I assume most of you have heard about because it's going flying out the doors, as they say.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So.
Well, that's fantastic, but we want to know what's coming up in the future.
Okay. You want to know what's coming up?
I really do, because I don't actually know what's going on here.
I want to know.
He doesn't know.
He wouldn't tell me. He hasn't told me.
I told Tom. So it's actually funny that you mentioned that because, so when we first started, we actually announced at the Dice Tower Live Show last year on this very stage. And the first thing we did is we said at the very top of our website is, what games do you guys want to see us bring back? We took surveys, we met people face-to-face, social media. By far, the #1 game that...
Basil, is there a Mr. Basil around here? Are you Mr. Basil?
I am.
Okay, well, here's a postcard for you, sir.
I don't often get... Okay, having a great time. Wish you were here.
Flip it over.
All right. Greetings from Fireball, Alabama!
I think all game announcements should be made via novelty postcards.
Okay, funny story. This is the best part of all this. I told Tom, we were at some game a while back, we were just shooting the breeze, and he mentioned he doesn't get surprised very much anymore because he knows all the announcements ahead of time. So I told Tom we were doing a different game, and I have kept this secret hidden for several months now. I had a couple people on the inside, and I was just happy to bring you that moment of surprise that you so rarely get with the game that you have been requesting since we started.
Well, you told me no.
I did tell you no because I was messing with you.
I asked Barry specifically on these things. Okay, now, I'm assuming there's a game now, because I love the game,
Yes.
but there's no game.
No.
So, a quick funny story. I was actually at HQ one day, and they said, Tom, where's your copy of the game? He said, I don't have that game. That game's crap.
So, yeah, we're going to restore it. There are many people who have very fond memories of Fireball Island because we were kids. But like many games, when you get older, you look back and you go, oh, it wasn't as good as I remember. But we are going to make it awesome. We have spent the past couple months looking at it. We want to make it as big as you remember. We want to make it as good as you remember. Not necessarily as good as it plays right now if you took it out. So we want to hear from you. Stop by our booth. Tell us what you liked about Fireball and what you expect to see. We already know. There's things like, we looked at it, and when you hit the marbles, they're very predictable. So we want to make things a little less predictable, like there's, too much certainty. And we also think there's not enough snakes, right, for starters.
That never occurred to me, but yes. Okay.
Right? We want it to be somewhere mixed between a Wile E. Coyote cartoon meets a miniature golf course meets just kinetic death machine.
Oh, again?
Another one. Yes, this is the marble.
I know. I'm Marble.
This is the marble segment of your show. Back-to-back marble games.
So we have, we're at least planning right, multicolored marbles, different colored marbles. Maybe a bag of marbles.
So the board itself is going to be a different board.
It'll be a different board. We're still working it out. We were meeting with the manufacturer yesterday to talk about the cost. If you go to our website and go to the Fireball Island page, we are going to be sending out regular announcements of the board and how it's going and the gameplay. But yes, we're going to put a game in it, just like we took our games from last year and sort of modernized them. It won't be a game that you watch. It'll be a game that you play. We have our top people working on it, and me.
Top men.
Wait, you said this was the #1 request?
By far the #1
But you told me it wasn't.
I know.
Well done. You don't fool him.
Far and away the #1 request.
I told people to vote for it. I thought no one listened. Thank you.
I want to mention one other thing real quickly. I know I don't want to take too much time. So we are actually running a contest. We'll be doing a Kickstarter for this. We don't know exactly when, but we have we just updated our website, depending on when Suzanne pushed the button. Maybe now. That we have a page just for Fireball Island on the website. If you go to the website, by the way, the first thing you see is what game do you want us to bring back? It's real simple. Name it, click a button, and you can tell us what you want to see. But on Fireball Island, We have actually, and at our booth here, we have 5 different novelty postcards, regular size, so not the giant ones.
Okay.
For different places on the island. You can pick up a free postcard at our booth, 3058, all the way in the back right corner. Just keep walking. If you take a picture, you can take a picture with the postcard, tag us on social media, and we are going to draw a person every month through the end of the year to win a copy of the game.
Ooh.
Stop by the booth, check the website, and say hello to us.
Great news, guys.
Yeah! All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Next on my list is Fireball Island Legacy.
When you just...
I'm not kidding. All right.
He's not allowed to sleep.
Let's move on.
So, Tom, I had wanted to do a little tribute here. Every so often there's a voice that has such a way with words that it almost transcends language itself. I'm thinking of like Shakespeare, Bob Dylan, and we have such a voice in our board game community, and I wanted to do a little poetic musical tribute to this voice. I'm going to need the overdrive. Butthurt. Chomping at the bits. Fantastic. Frothing at the mouth. Full froth. Jumping out of my pants. That's outrageous. Get that out of my face. Jamie Key of the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast.
Move to one side.
No, you're staying here. You're not going nowhere.
Oh.
Hey now, everybody. How you doing? Well, you know why I'm here. I'm here every year to host the game show, the Battle of the Podcasts. We have the Dice Tower versus the Secret Cabal. And now the Secret Cabal won this battle last year, and I know 100% that they're going to continue winning again this year. So let me introduce my team, my crack team. They know everything. They're going to win it this time. First, from the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast, Daddy, Mr. Chris Miller, and Tony T. Let's go, guys. And also, we have a brand new show called Lords of the Dungeon. The other half of the team is Jess and Bender.
Hey, you guys are on the other side. We're over here, this side.
And as soon as they figure out there's musical chairs up in here, we'll see what's going on after that.
I thought I had joined your team.
Well, we could use you, Eric.
No.
You want to be on the winning side, right?
So, Tom, who are you putting up against this crack team I got?
Well, I'm going to start with Eric Summerer.
As long as I don't have to move, that's all I care about.
Because he did so well earlier. All right, we'll bring up Sam and Z, of course. Sam Healy and Z Garcia. Jamie, I thought we said 3 per team. You have 4.
I have 4. It's 4 per team. It's 4 questions. It's not fun.
All right. Well, this is trivia-based kind of thing. I need a ringer.
All right. So I'm gonna. Oh, you got somebody coming?
I got a 4th person.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This person's definitely a ringer. Do you ever have that guy in your game group who just seems to win every game? Do you know anybody like that, Tom? Anybody? Yeah. You say that you have a game that you like and you want me to play. You'll try to defeat me, but you'll never beat me, so I don't know why you persist. When you know that you'll lose and you whine and you'll make such a scene. Are you a masochist? Well, why else would you play against me, the great Jason Levine? You will lose through and through. Yes, you know I'll mop the floor with you. You can have more starting coins, and I'll even spot you 30 points. My scores rise, yours will fall. In the end, it won't be close at all. And when all's said and done, I will tell your friends and family so they all know that I won. Da 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 da, la da 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 ya da, da 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 da. Everybody, da 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 da, la da 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 ya da, da 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 ya da. Good luck.
I feel like this may be the show.
Fear. The cave is here.
All right, so what we're going to do here, before you explain the rules of the game, we want to explain, because I'll let you explain while we have people coming. We're going to have a few questions here, depending on time, where we're going to have guests on each team, and the team that does better is going to have a choice of prizes. So we have some good prizes here. On one hand, from Mr. Bonagor, you can get his new bicycle racing game, which is pronounced
Flamme Rouge.
Flamme Rouge. Also, and I don't know why these are here, you can get a water bottle that says Stronghold Games. But all right. So the winner person can pick either that or this Z Garcia figure.
Again. I lost to Spice last time, and you're putting me up against Flamme Rouge? I can't take that.
It's Z versus Stronghold. So the winner gets one.
Ow.
I'm so glad this show's almost over. The winner gets one, and the loser gets the other choice of those. So I'm going to call the first two names, I'll call the first tickets. You can start coming up, and then while they're doing that, you'll go over the rules of the game. So on the Dice Tower team, we have 962-373. There's 373 here. You only got like a second. Woo! Come on up. And on the Cabela's team, we have 961-310. 310.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to get stuck with a figure
What are
of
the
me.
rules of the game, mister?
All right, so now everybody, we have our contestants. What we're going to do is this is a game very similar to Family Feud.
Winning team.
Hush, Jason.
Dave, I need another.
It's very similar to Family Feud. I polled over 1,000 people, 4 different questions. And you all picked your best answer out of 5. What we're going to do is we're going to ask these questions, and these fine people are going to select the best 2 answers. And the number of people that selected that answer, plus the other one, is the points that they'll accrue. And after the 4 questions, whoever has the most points will be the ultimate podcast winners. And it's going to be this crew, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Tom is going to keep score. Because last time I tried to keep score, I screwed it up. All right, so are we ready to go?
So you're telling me if we lose, it's Tom's fault?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
I know you don't like Blender that much, but come on, man. Help me out, Tom.
All right, contestants.
Don't make me cheat.
Question number 1. If the world's greatest board game designer, which at this point is now Alan Moon, of course.
You are loving that, aren't you?
I certainly am, Tom. I never said anything like that on my show.
Too soon, man.
All right, if the world's greatest board game designer were hired to create a board game based on one of the following films, which one would you like that designer to choose? Possible answer number 1 is The Never-Ending Story. Number 2 is Clash of the Titans. Number 3, The Dark Crystal. Number 4, Willow. Number 5, The Secret of NIMH. So, all right, deliberate. Which game would you like to see? Which game would you like to see? Neverending Story, Clash of the Titans, The Dark Crystal, Willow, or The Secret of NIMH?
And that's 2. Yep.
All right, I'm giving you 5 more seconds to choose. And you're picking the best 2.
That's definitely one.
All right, teams, lock in your answers. It is time to give your answers.
Okay.
Eric, I'm going to you first.
Well, we think absolutely the Dark Crystal is one of the choices. Has to be. And then number 2 is going to be the Neverending Story.
Ah.
Legacy.
Let us go. Chris, why don't you give us your answers?
All right, there was much contention over here as to what the correct answer was, and I was with you on Dark Crystal, but that's not what we picked. We are going with Clash of the Titans and Neverending Story.
Ah, I like the sound of that. Because the number 1 answer was The Neverending Story. 228 points, Tom. The number 2 answer was Clash of the Titans with 220.
Don't listen to me.
And the number 3 answer was The Dark Crystal with 191.
Okay, you guys need to listen to me next time. I did say Clash of the Titans.
All right, so you've won, sir.
You don't
Would
know
you like
how true Eric's song
Game
actually
and Bottle or Z Garcia?
I love you, Z, but can I please have the game?
It's fine. I get it. I get it.
Congratulations, Z Garcia.
Z is cooler anyway.
All right, next person for the Dice Tower, 961-911. Are they here, 961-911? Is that you? I can't tell.
No one
Are
wants
they
to
here?
join our team at this
Are
point.
you walking because that's your number? Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. And over for the Cabal, 962-195. 962-195. Are you here? They left. All right. I know why. All right. Your team is actually 961-643. Oh, they're back. All right.
So they were talking about the Neverending Story, but I
How
thought
did you get the
that
mic?
they already had a board game for that.
Take the
TI-4.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Okay, that was good.
That was
good.
That was a good, yeah. The crown suits you, clearly.
All right, everybody.
If he
The
goes
second
missing
question.
later on, you'll know why.
I also have a segment for Blender to make Z's ratings go up.
Tom, control your people
I
here.
heard this backstage. No.
Control your people here.
No, that you stop on a high point, man. No.
What's the next question?
All right, the next question is, which of the following would you consider the least desirable mechanism that could be employed in a board game design? Shout something specific at a certain moment, or player elimination, an abundance of randomness, roll and move, or paying even if you didn't win the auction. What would be the worst? Shouting something at a specific moment, player elimination, roll and move, an abundance of randomness, or paying even though you failed the auction.
I want to see a game with all of those.
The contestants are deliberating. I can see there's some contention.
I agree.
All right, you have 5 seconds, contestants.
We
all set to go? All right, I'm going to go to Mr. Tony Topper first. What is your answer, please?
This one was pretty easy, I thought. We went with C and D.
So what's that, abundance of randomness and roll and move?
C, player elimination, and D, an abundance of randomness.
Okay. Mr. Z. Garcia, what is your answer?
So we were going with categories that we figured would be nice and broad enough, which eliminated something like paying even when you lose an auction, though Sam completely hates that. So we went with roll and move and player elimination.
How could you
nice
not
and
pick
broad.
the right answer, Z?
I did not. Then I'd like to
The
change
number one
them now.
answer is shout something at a specific moment by a lot.
What?
By a lot.
That's your that's the one you hate the most.
I know. I dreaded when I saw him sitting there. Anyway, so player elimination, who picked that? Both of you? All right, player elimination is 172 points for both teams. Abundance of randomness, that was 119 points.
That's
You
over
picked
here.
that one, right?
No.
Oh, that was you. And then roll and move was yours, Z?
Yes.
Roll and move was 116 points.
We're only trailing by like 6.
Z, I'm
right.
disappointed.
I'm looking
You didn't
for some
pick it.
contributors to the Dice Tower
I'm
Show.
glad to know that now. I'm not alone.
I was throwing a softball.
Once
Solidarity.
again, this side is one. Would you like the game and water bottle or Z Garcia?
I will take the game because I already have Z Garcia.
Yeah!
Z Garcia!
No. I remember him from one of our last games at another convention. He got it for free. He didn't buy it.
My guys are doing really good.
Yes, they are.
All right. Meanwhile, back up on the Dice Tower team. Please help them out. 961-566. 961-566. Are you here? Shout if you are.
Yay!
All right, yay! And on the Secret Cabal, 962-098. 962-098. Hooray! I'm assuming when people stand up, that's them.
Right.
We're ready this time.
Well, all right. You better be ready.
You better be.
He even came with his uniform on. That's awesome.
Nice.
Join us. Be assimilated into the Dice Tower.
Okay, here we are with question 3. We're halfway through. If the following characters were to play a board game against one another, which do you feel would have the best chance of winning? Mr. Spock, the Doctor from Doctor Who, Gandalf, Bruce Wayne, or Dumbledore? Which of these characters would win the game against each other? Mr. Spock, the Doctor, Gandalf, Bruce Wayne, or Dumbledore?
Aren't Gandalf and Dumbledore like the same thing?
I want to see Gandalf versus Dumbledore in a wizard dueling game. Or like stock manipulation. That'd be funny too.
Okay. Oh, they're racking their brains. I can tell this is a tough one. All right, you have 5 seconds, contestants.
I'd go.
3, 2, and 1. Answers are locked in, and I'm going to go to Mr. Sam Healy first. Can you please give me your answers?
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, you know, Mr. Spock would just say this is not logical. We just shouldn't play games. We should stay at work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do we work with him?
He probably wouldn't be playing anyway. But if he
plays
did,
3D chess.
He
But if he
played
did-
tri-dimensional chess, Sam.
you put your trickiness
Turn
away.
in your geek card, please.
Turn in your geek card.
I'm a Star Wars fan. See, we know what it's like to be a geek and cool at the same time.
What?
That's outrageous. Now, please just give your answer.
All right, so here we go. Our answers were, first of all, Mr. Spock, because if he did play, he's going to whoop you. And the next one is...
Here.
I know that.
I'm just...
I'm making sure. I mean, he would come back from the future, and he would already know who won, and then he would win anyway. That's
The doctor. All right. Jess, could you please give your answers?
All right, it was hard to deliberate on this one. We like them all. I would like to play games with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we also agreed that the Doctor, hands down. You can't not, this list has to have the Doctor on it. And then after some deliberation, we chose Dumbledore as well, because he's just cool and he can like make magic happen, guys. Magic.
All right. The number one answer was Mr. Spock.
Yes. There we go.
269 points. The number 2 answer, which both teams got, the Doctor. 236 points. And the worst answer possible was Dumbledore. 103 points, Tom. Dumbledore, come on, guys.
I think we caught up.
Well, at least we know the game's not rigged now. All right.
Yeah, I was thinking it too.
All right, what would you like? The game and the water bottle?
As much as I love him, this game is rigged, obviously, Flamme Rouge.
Yeah. And over here, Z Garcia.
Is
I think we're going to have to jump to the... I think, Mr. Kagan, we're going to have to jump to the final question here.
All right, the final question.
Over on the Dice Tower, we're going to have 961-789. 961-789, yeah.
All right.
And on the Cabal, 961-546. 961-5, all right.
All right. For the final question of the day.
We're going to make this one harder, though. One person will win the game and the water bottle, and the other person will win the game and Z Garcia.
Ooh.
All right, hold on. Okay, listen, folks. I'm on shaky ground here. If I lose to an empty water bottle, I'm gonna need flowers or something, because it's gonna be a rough evening.
2 water bottles.
Stephen, that might not have been a good thing.
That.
And since you're standing out on stage loitering around, causing trouble, why don't you come over here and join me for this question? So the final question is, obviously, about one of the greatest men in the entire world, Mr. Stephen Buonocore.
Stop. Yes, please.
Continue.
Stop.
All right, here's the final question. Stephen Buonocore always speaks about his home in New Jersey. He calls it the Stronghold. In his living room, right above his fireplace, hangs a picture, a painting of his role model. The one person that influenced him and drove him to achieve success. Whose visage hangs majestically above Mr. Buonocore's fireplace at the Stronghold?
I've been to the Stronghold.
No. Shush, Steve. The possible answers are Rocky Balboa, Don Corleone, Frank Sinatra, Geppetto, or Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey. All of which are fine, upstanding Italian people and animals. All of them achieve success, all of them, and some of them are toy makers, some of them just spread joy across the world, like Italian Christmas Donkey, he gets all the toys up the mountains in Italy to all the children. Geppetto creates toys, even makes dolls that dance about, just like you. Don Corleone, he is a man, he's a powerful man, and he knows his business. Rocky Balboa fought. He fought from nothing and became the champion of the world. You got nothing to say, huh?
I don't know what to say about this. Can I at least say that this isn't true, but if I had something above the fireplace, which one would I pick of those? Can I at least do it that way? Because no, none of this is really real. It's actually quite blank above my fireplace. But I guess if I had to pick one of those, I'd go with Frank. Frank Sinatra. Wow, not too many applause. Did you want me to do Vito Corleone? What did you want me to do? Frank, come on.
Well, let's find out.
He's commandeered. All right. Please lock in your answers. Thank you, Stephen. You can stay here and hang out. I'm going to go to, who did I go? Bender. You're going to be the man to answer the question. Which two do you think are the possible people hanging over the hearth?
We're going for Rocky Balboa and Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey.
Hell yeah! Because he spreads.
Who would have possibly picked that? I don't even know what Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey looks like. I don't. I have no idea.
Happily,
All right.
I was allowed to vote.
Jason, the ringer, who did you choose?
Well, we thought about Frank Sinatra. Like I said, I was at the Stronghold, and I knew that, but they didn't listen to me, as usual. But we did go for The Godfather, because we knew that that's one of his idols, so everyone at home that did vote on this would pick that. But we knew that Don Corleone would actually be the second answer, because we figured everyone wanted to see Steve with his mirror image on the wall. Dominic, the Italian Christmas donkey.
That's two good jokes in one show.
Jason's knocking him out of the park, Steven. I think you're a handsome man. I think you're a handsome man. You don't look like a donkey. Anyway. All right. So the number one answer was Rocky Balboa. 263 points. The number two answer was Don Corleone with 207 points. And the third best answer was Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey with 197 points for both teams. Mr. Vassal, will you please calculate the results and tell them that my team just won again this year?
Well, before we do that, we do have to decide. This one was obviously won by Secret Cabal. So do you want the game in 2 water bottles or the game in Z?
Boom! I took 2 water bottles and I won.
Steven, give her 2 water bottles.
Well, we found the threshold of lowerness.
Thank you.
Got it. You're not as good as Spice, but you are better than 2 water bottles.
It is a scale.
Empty water bottle. If they were full, then it would be different.
Yes.
Yeah.
2, 11, 3.
The tension was powerful.
Well, while Tom's calculating, I got a joke for you.
Oh, no. We're done.
All right, I'll save it. I'll save it. I'll save it.
Nope.
Saturday night. Saturday night, I'll tell you.
See everybody there at Saturday night, 8 o'clock at the Tow Yard.
All right, I counted these twice, all right? So Dice Tower has 1,616 points. Secret Cabal, 1,538.
What?
Don't mess with the king
because
here.
they picked that answer that was only 103 points.
Victorious?
Next year we're coming for you.
You guys bring it.
Don't mess with the king, Jamie.
All right, Tom wants us to get off the stage, I think.
Okay, thank you to Secret Cabal, everybody!
Thank you, everybody.
Who were not the most... Oh, just leave the chairs. Leave the chairs there. And thank you, Jason Levine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple announcements of our own that are not, that you can listen to. So we're gonna have 2 announcements. The first one is in regards to our, we can hear you up here.
You lost. Get over it.
Oh God, I scripted this and worked on this for, okay, anyway. So, first one is in regards to our video show. So we have a couple people we're gonna bring out over here. Come on out. Now, one of the things that the Dice Tower does not do currently, and you guys can sit right here with the microphone, one of the things that we do not do is we do not do rules explanation videos on our channel. And so when these fine folk contacted me, well, why don't you introduce yourselves and tell folks about yourself?
Hi, I'm...
right into the mic.
I'm Louisa, or I guess the rules girl, and we do ultra concise rules explanations for what... okay. We do ultra concise rules explanations in a completely animated format. Very quick, 5-10 minutes.
She writes them, I edit and animate.
Right, so what we're planning to do is they're going to come on into the Dice Tower, and you're going to start seeing rules explanations show up. You know, we're not going to see them as every single day like the videos, but we're going to have them on there so that you can quickly see how to play games and understand how to do those games. We have one coming soon.
Yeah, the next one we're doing is Unicornus Knights, followed by Cutthroat Kingdoms.
Right, and you can get those here. I think they're both those games, right?
Yeah.
And how long is our Unicornus Knights explanation?
6 minutes for Unicornus, about 5 for Cutthroat.
All right, so these are short rules explanations, which is my style anyhow. And I'm really excited about this. I hope that this will really improve the video channel and add something to it that we haven't seen before. And it's probably better than the reviews that I do. So I get enough garbage about my video explanations. I'll just pass them on off. So we really appreciate you guys coming on, and we look forward to those videos, which we'll start seeing very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Now, for the next announcement is in regards to the audio podcast, and I see many people were speculating online. What did you tell me to do? Put my hat down and just walk off?
Yeah, just one spotlight and you just leave.
No. Now, no. In episode 500, we made a change in the audio podcast. We decided to drop the contributors, add a third co-host. Adding a co-host in takes a lot of extra editing, and we really like having those third co-hosts. They are easily our most downloaded shows by a mile, each co-host. People have really liked them. And then on the opposite week, Eric and I would talk and do things, and those are easily not our most downloaded shows ever on those. So I thought about that, right? And we also thought about the fact that when we come to conventions, people are like, hey, Sam, hey, Z, hey, Tom. And then they look at Eric, and then he says, hello, and they're like, oh, you're Eric. So there's that. So Eric and I are going to be moving out of that show. We're not going to be doing that show any longer. And instead, we're going to be starting a very similar show, but we're going to be doing it live on video. So once every 2 weeks or so, depending on conventions and things, we will be talking live through Google Chat and talking about games and things like that. And because it's video, I will actually have to listen to Eric because he'll see my eyes if I'm not.
I'll see when he starts checking his email when I'm talking.
I don't ever do that during the show.
Yeah, I can hear the clacking of the keys.
So
every time.
But then also you can watch it live and ask questions, and we'll try to participate and be involved there. But that leaves that audio show there. We're not doing it anymore, and I don't like the idea of a bi-weekly audio show. I like the idea of a weekly show. Do we have a video to play? We do. If you could play that for me.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. We're good. We're good, right? Okay. I really, really like your new headphones. I'm kind of envious of them, I gotta say. I'm so...
Oh, I do. I like them. They're big, cover the hair, but they're doing the job.
No, you look gorgeous. Whatever. You look amazing. And I mean, I hate to break it to you. It doesn't really matter what your hair looks like. So, you know.
That is a good point. I didn't think about that. And your voice, it's like silky smooth. What's going on there?
I got a new microphone. What do you think? Sounding good?
It is amazing. It sounds really good.
Awesome. Just let me know if anything sounds weird, okay? Promise?
Absolutely. I will totally tell you.
So how are you feeling?
I'm so nervous, but I'm excited. It's like a mix of emotions. Like, how about you?
Yeah, I like randomly in the middle of the day, I'll have these moments of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I'm so excited. And then like literally 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. What am I even doing? But, you know, I kind of back away from that. And then I just remember I get to do this amazing thing with you. And I am so thrilled about it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I'm doing it with you. Like, we just get along so well, and I think we just have that good rapport, and it works. So that made me so happy.
We're going to have so much fun, and this is going to be awesome.
Agreed. So I think we're ready. What do you think? You ready?
I'm ready.
I am ready. Okay, so Tom, you ready to let them in on the secret?
Yeah, yes. I really felt like they're laughing at me there. Now, you know those two contributors, if you watch our YouTube channels at all, they're both contributors. And Suzanne, who is not here because she runs Gen Can't.
So she can never come, I guess, apparently.
I guess so. But happily, we do have Mandy Hutchinson with us today. So we want to bring her on. There's your mic. Now, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. You're so quiet.
So I'm going to sit down. I'm tired of standing over Eric.
We weren't laughing at you. Well, maybe a little.
It didn't come like...
So just to be clear, every other episode is going to be Mandy and Suzanne.
That's right. So what we're doing here is we're bringing them on as full hosts of the Dice Tower. This has nothing to do with Eric and me. We're not involved in that show. They pick the segments.
Absolutely.
They record it. In fact, the first show is already done and will be posted this Tuesday. This show is actually being posted tomorrow.
That's yes. In theory, this posts tomorrow.
We thought we would have to not
Tuesday.
edit it much, but we may
have to
edit it at this point.
A little bit.
We talk a lot.
No, that's not you this time.
No, not you guys.
Okay. All right, so tell us a little bit about what we can expect to hear on the show. Right in the mic.
Yeah, so we definitely want can you all hear me? Yes. Perfect. We definitely wanted to have staple segments in there, so we love older games, so we definitely want to touch on that because a lot of the times they get forgotten. And we definitely want to talk about some aspects to technology. I know you're all thinking, okay, we're trying to avoid that with board games. We want to have rotating segments like that so we can talk about those are coming in, they're new, let's talk about it, and how they're involved in board gaming. So we've got some really fun topics that are different than what Tom and Eric were doing, but some stuff that's similar. People don't love big change, so we're going to try and keep some things the same.
The theme song's the same.
The theme song's the same, with a little bit of Suzanne and Mandy in there. So we didn't want to throw people too much off. So we definitely have some staple segments, and then we have some rotating segments. Definitely some that involve you, the viewers and audience. So.
And in fact, I think we got some new logos on the screen. We have the Dice Guy, but now we have Dice Guys for all of us up there. So. I really like these Dice Guys. We're going to get shirts and stuff. And also, Suzanne is not here because of Jen can't, but she and Mandy will be at Essen with us. So we'll all four of us.
Six
of us. Guys, it's been a long show. Give me some breaks here. We'll be at Essen, and so if many of you will not be, but Luza will be singing there. We'll be coming and come out and see us. We're going to be doing a live show there together, and it'll be a lot of fun. And of course, Mandy will be here and answer your questions, and all over the place too.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see this. I think we need to constantly be looking and seeing how can we change in the community, how can we be more involved, what interesting changes can we do, and this will be exciting, and we're sticking with this for a while, and we hope that you guys enjoy it and come along for the ride with us. So yes, we're not leaving the Dice Tower.
No.
Some people seemed hopeful there.
I don't know. They might be disappointed.
I don't know if we're going to be able to come back here next year, but oh man. All right, well, we really appreciate you guys coming and watching us today. Don't forget, we have raffle tickets, and we'll put some numbers up at Stronghold booth. We'll put some numbers up at our booth, and they will be there. Maybe you will have one. Don't come looking today. Come tomorrow. Remember, after the show, come by our booth if you want to say hi to us, because we don't want to clog up this area. But until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
My turn.
Your turn.
I'm Sam Healy.
I'm Mandy Hutchinson.
And I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been watching or listening to the Dice Tower.
Thanks for listening. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies
Don't
of
leave
games.
yet, seriously.
This episode, number 518, was recorded in front of a live convention audience on August 18th, 2017. The Dice Tower is produced by Tom, Eric, Mandy, and Suzanne, with assistance from Itai Perez, Derek Porter, and Rob Searing. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme. Mr. Garcia's Name Your Own Star certificates provided by Z's Sons. And hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at CoolStuffInc.com. Don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network at DicetowerNetwork.com. Until next time, from all the gang at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming.
But before you run out the door, it's important when we come to, we learn things. We learn things from Jeff. We learn things not to do today. We learned a lot. But we have one more lesson to impart to you. I think Eric will give it to us.
I think if there's one thing that the Dice Tower espouses is that you need to let the buyer beware, right? You need to caveat emptor. Do your research. Don't just get swayed by a lovely image on the front of a box. You need to, delve a little deeper. In other words, some games we play are bad. They can really make you mad. Other games you hardly can abide. When you're choosing games to purchase, the cover's nice, but it might be worthless. So it's sure less pain to check the other side. And always look on the back of the box. Always look on the back of the box.
If the game you got seems rotten, there was something you've forgotten to check how many players it can run. When it says 3 or more, don't go crying to the store. When just you and your spouse did not have fun, rattle. And always look on the back of the box. Always look on the back of the box.
When you just want a filler, the right game could be killer. But if you aren't sure, then please be aware. You might play with several friends in a game that never ends, 'cause the box said 60 minutes per player. And always look on the back of the box. Always look on the back of the box.
There's oh so many games with some great designers' names. You have to be discerning with your cash. It may seem like a hassle if it says, designed by Tom Vassell. Then throw that piece of junk out in the trash. Yes!